Have you reached the stage where you're finally ready to hire your first virtual assistant? Yay, I'm so excited. Where do you start? How do you even find your first virtual assistant? That's what I'm talking about in today's video. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's Elise here from House of Brazen, where I help entrepreneurs build profitable businesses. And today I'm sharing with you how you can go about hiring your virtual assistant. Your first one, actually. So there are many ways to do it. I know there are actual databases or directories that you can go to and use to find your first virtual assistant. But I'm going to share with you how I did it because I really like the way that I did it and I love my virtual assistant. She is amazing. And I seriously do not know what I would do without her. So I've got 3 tips for you on how to go about that. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I actually sent out an email to my list, letting them know that I was hiring. In the email, I stated what I was looking for, the kind of tasks that I needed help with. I also created a job description, which I think is really important so that you make it very clear what you're wanting and how you want the role to grow as well. I sent that through and I said, hey, I'm looking for a spectacular virtual assistant, my first one. And if you believe you're right for the role, I would love for you to apply. So that brings me to the second thing that I did was I actually created an application form. Now, the reason I created an application form is because I wanted to learn about these people before I actually went and interviewed them. I wanted to hear about them, where they were at, what they do, what their goals are, and sort of get an idea of them before I decided to interview them. I also did this because I wanted to weed out the people that I didn't feel were right for me, that were well out of my budget, or I didn't feel had the skills that I needed at the time. It was really good to put these blinders on because I got over 50 applications, which was so overwhelming because I was only actually expecting to have 5. So to have that buffer process of filling out the application form was a lifesaver. So I asked a bunch of different questions from, what do you do? Tell me about yourself. What kind of skills could you bring to the business? What do you know about House of Brazen? What are you passionate about? What are your goals when it comes to your business? Do you have a business? All different types of questions. And the really good way to find questions is just by Googling. Ask opinion-based questions, ask brain teaser questions, ask behavioral questions as well. Get them to tell you about an instance where they had a difficulty or a challenge to overcome and what they did to problem solve that. That's a really good way to see how they work. And at the end of the application, before they submitted it, I had a little note that said, thank you so much for filling out this form. If you are successful in getting an interview, you will hear back from me. Otherwise, if you don't get a response from me, I want to thank you for taking the time to fill out this application form, and I wish you all the best. And as simple as that, you have suddenly eliminated having to respond to every single person that wasn't successful so that you can narrow it down and focus on the people that you do want to interview. Which then brings me to my third tip, and that's to interview your candidates. So out of the list of 50 people that applied, I then narrowed it down to 12, and out of those 12, I interviewed 4 people. And in those interviews, I went through another series of questions. I also got them to tell me about themselves. I also told them about myself and my goals and what I'm wanting to do with the business and where I'm wanting to take it and what I need help with. And then I took a couple of days to really sit on who I spoke with. And from that, I made my decision. I didn't just make my decision based on the answers that the people gave. It was really about a vibe. They had to vibe with me, and they also had to have the skills that I didn't. They also had to sort of almost be the opposite of me. So my virtual assistant, she is so organized. She thinks about things that I don't even think about. And she stays on top of stuff when I have completely forgotten. Which makes me sound like I'm an idiot. So that's what I'd recommend, to think about the strengths that the person has, and hopefully you're looking for someone who has skills that are different to yours, but really try to focus on the vibe that you get, the connection that you get with the person. Because when I interviewed Jo, my assistant, I actually knew pretty much the second I finished the interview that she was the one. And that was totally based on the vibe. There was something in her that I saw that resonated with what I wanted. So yeah, that's how I hired my first virtual assistant, and that's how I recommend you can go about it. Now, the reason I went to my list is because these people know who I am. They're already excited about me. They already know my business. I don't have to teach them about it. And yes, most of them have their own businesses. And a lot of people are like, if they want to build their own business, then they're not entirely focused on yours. That is not true. And if that's the case, you'll see it very quickly, and you can let this person know that they're not the right fit and move on to another. It's not that big a deal. But I went to my list because I knew that I would find the right person there, and I did. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now I would love to hear from you. Are you thinking about hiring your first virtual assistant? And if so, how are you going to go about that? Are you going to reach out to your email list, or are you going to go somewhere else? Let me know in the comments below. I would love it if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next episode.